Thank you, Cat Stevens. That was Moon a Shadow by Cat Stevens. Yeah. Yeah. Great song. And it's day. Hello, everybody out there in Videoland. We're started here now. Peter Dichter's coming in, but he's running on Peter Dichter time as usual. So he's never on time, always late. That's the way he rolls. But that's all right. Everything's set up for him here. All he's got to do is pull up a chair, and we're good to go. My name is Paul K. Lemire. This is your city, your voice coming to you live. See you later, Meatloaf. We don't need you playing while I'm talking. But it was a good try there, Mr. Meatloaf. Yeah, so what's going on here today on Your City, Your Voice? It's finally Friday, of course. So what do we do on finally Friday? We round up the week here and head into the weekend, which is not supposed to be a really, really great weekend, to be honest with you. It's going to be rainy all weekend. And I didn't think it was going to be rainy today. And then I looked out and look at what we got here today. Out of nowhere, it just started pouring. And I mean pouring. And I'm going, dang, that's the last thing we needed. I'm going to be watching my microphone close. So if you see me looking over here a lot, it's because I forgot to give it a good charge. I don't know if it'll last the whole hour, but if not, we got Peter's microphone. These are pretty good microphones. They pick up, so we should be fine with that anyway. So what do we do on Friday? Well, first we start out with my sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting here on 4680Q in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario on a rainy day. And it's that kind of a day where, if your car broke down and you're out in the rain trying to wave down somebody or waiting for... Yeah, you don't want it to happen. That's why you take it to Wild Bill's. We're seeing the temperature go down. It's getting a little bit chillier every day now. And you know what's going to happen. It's going to get in the rotten weather here, so you want your car running right. Just take it to see Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's. He'll throw your car on his diagnostic equipment, all makes, all models. And any problems, any red flags come up, he'll fix them and get you on your way, all happy and glad that you came to see him and you were proactive. He also has a full body shop there. So, if you get in a little fender bender or a major collision, go see Ken at Wild Bill's. They'll get your car in, fix it all up, and get you out of the door in showroom condition. You'll be happy. Your car will be happy. I'll be happy. Everybody will be happy. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, Oakwood Drive, next to the Kia dealership. Give them a call today. Tell them Paul from Your City, Your Voice sent you. Yeah, and on Monday, I got a new sponsor coming up. Yeah, I got a new sponsor. So we'll talk about that. We'll announce that on Monday, and that'll be fantastic. So we'll have 3 sponsors for the show, which is beautiful. That's great. I love promoting the businesses in town, and if they can partner up with me on a sponsorship for my show here, that's fantastic. They get exposed on YouTube. They get exposed on 4680Q radio live at noon every day. So it's good for them, good for me, and it's good to see that businesses in town support other businesses, and we'd like to support them. A lot of stories that are in the news lately. You go through the newspaper and you don't see a lot of positive stories. You don't see very many good stories. It's just a bunch of crap that's going on. It's pretty insane in the world right now. I'm just watching the news this morning, and we see this 14-year-old kid down in Georgia who went into a school, killed 2 students, 2 teachers, and injured 9 other people. He was in court this morning being tried as an adult. And you know what? He should be when you do something like that. But surprisingly enough, guess who was in court right after him? His father. Why? Because his father bought him an AR-15. And, this comes back to the point of people getting their guns, and now the left is going to be going crazy, the woke left, and here comes Peter Dichter. So we'll get him in this conversation for sure, because this is a pretty interesting conversation. Pretty good conversation here.
Am I late?
You're always late. It's on Peter Dichter time. That's George Emery says, he's still on Peter Dichter time.
George Emery, who's that?
Your best buddy, George. Good old George. He's a great guy, George.
Selling me down the road again?
You're on the road again, if you're listening. Wait, what do you got in that haversack there?
Well,
What do you carry around? What do you got? You got nothing. You come in here and sit down. What do you need a haversack?
well, the secret is that I'm. Hi guys, sorry for being late. What really happened this morning is I was out doing my 10K walk.
No.
And I got caught in that little storm and had to take cover. So.
Yeah, well, I didn't get caught in it, but I looked out the window at about maybe 11 or so or whatever, and I'm going, dang.
Yeah, no, I got caught in it, and I had to take cover because it was a little bit of a boomer, and I thought, you know what, walking like this, especially coming from Fireman's Park, wasn't good. So.
Yeah, right on. Your mic's on. Everything's on. I'm looking at my mic. We might have to play sharesies.
Oh, no.
I forgot to charge up my mic, so okay. I'm not sure it'll last the whole show.
Problem. Yeah.
So we might have to just put this one over here like we did the one time I forgot again.
I actually wonder why I have my bag, because after I leave here, I got to go up to Welland to our TV studio for the big show. Pete and Ray. Big show.
What's that?
We have a TV studio up there for our new show called The Big Show.
Oh, right on. Is that the one Danny Z runs? No. Is that one? No.
Well, no, we'll be on star97.com, star97fm.com in the future. Probably within the next 2 weeks, we'll be doing a show there. But we also have our interview show, which is The Big Show.
And that's on?
And that's going to be on Star. It's going to be on Classic 1220. It's going to be on a bunch of radio system stations in the
So
US
you have a studio that you just go record this in, and then you give it to the other stations to play.
Yeah,
awesome.
We just edit it down to what they need. And then, and it's going to be, you'll be able to see it on our YouTube.
And who's in cahoots with you on that? Ray Lyle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's The Big Show with Pete, P-E-E-T, and Ray.
Yeah, Pete.
Now, if Reet gets all of her health back, it'll be Pete, Reet, and Ray.
Pete, Reet, and Ray.
Yeah, so.
Peanut butter and jam.
So we're looking forward to it, and we've already done a bunch of really cool interviews. And
cool.
A bunch more, yeah.
So is this like an exclusive to my show?
Yes.
I love it. I got an exclusive. Nobody else knows about this except me and Pete. Now, I want everybody out there to keep it quiet.
Yeah.
This is between us, right? Yeah. Anyway, I was just talking about I was watching TV just before this morning, right? And that 14-year-old kid that shot 2 kids and killed them, and 2 teachers and killed them and injured 9 others, was in court this morning. And he got charged with, murder and everything. And he's going to be tried as an adult, even though he's 14, which I think in this case he should be. And the only thing that's off the table with him, because he is a minor, is the death penalty. So they'll throw him in prison for life with no parole.
Wow.
Well, I mean, he killed 2 people and shot others. Killed 4 people, I should say. And
he knew what he was doing.
Well, obviously, but now here's the kicker to that. And you can comment on this. They also arrested his father for being an accomplice to this and charged him with secondary manslaughter and secondary murder. And he got arraigned this morning. And now they're going to go through the process with him, too, because he bought this kid an AR-15 at 14 years old and gave it to him.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
Well, first of all, you can't go buy guns and give them to somebody else. I don't care if it's your kid.
Yep.
Number one. But number 2, it's just like a 14-year-old kid, you're going to give him a rifle and say, here, enjoy.
Now, was the father licensed?
Yeah, the father's licensed. They do deer hunting and everything else. But...
Oh, so he should not have given the gun. You can't do that on a license.
He's the adult. He's got to be responsible for this. You can't just hand your would you do that with an 8-year-old? Give him a handgun and say, here, play with it, honey.
A lot of times people think their kids are way more mature than they are. Like they let them ride big snowmobiles when they really haven't got the weight to do it, or ATVs, or look what my kid can do, but it's dangerous. And that's a lot of power sitting in somebody's hands. And if, maybe he was the type of kid, I don't know anything about him, that was bullied and, now he's got the power in his hand and you're going to get back. It's just wrong. Never would I hand my child a gun. And next of all, they'd be licensed and then gone into training before they got it in their hands.
No, absolutely. And they're starting to find out more about this family. And apparently the mother has a criminal record. She got caught with meth and stuff. So, wow. And there's other stuff too. So
his life is done. His life is finished.
Well, yeah, if he gets convicted, and obviously he will. Yeah. But it's sad because the father was in court and he was pretty sick about the whole thing. I mean, you could hear him. I could hear him almost sobbing
Yeah.
about all this. I mean, okay, he gave him the gun and all that. I'm sure his intention wasn't for the kid to go up and shoot up the school with it, but still, it comes down to everything. It Adults got to be responsible. If you're having sex with a 12-year-old girl, you know what?
Pay him $2 million and get off.
Yeah, well, that's what some people do,
Yeah,
and then they get to be prime minister.
exactly.
But but really, I mean, as an adult, you're responsible for children and doing the right thing with them, and taking advantage of them, sending them to be converted to a woman or a girl as a boy and stuff like that isn't the right thing, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm sure other people disagree with me, but at the end of the day,
I'm with you on that one.
yeah. Well, as adults, we're responsible. If you see a kid getting in trouble or in trouble, you help them. You don't take advantage of them.
No, it's a sad situation. He's in the middle of his hormones, gets a gun, an AR. You just put power in somebody's hand who's not mature enough to handle that. They're not. It's just not mature enough to handle it. And you know what? These stories, they sicken me. They do. I don't even like to think about them.
Well, and it's not just like this is just one of the stories. Just one. Just one. There are literally hundreds. Now, I read another one. A 15-year-old girl was lit on fire by a 14-year-old girl and she suffered from serious injuries from being lit on fire. I mean, what the heck is the matter with these kids? I mean, what's the matter with society? Because they reflect us, right?
Yeah, that's 100%. It's like somebody flipped a switch. And I don't know if it's video games and movies that have desensitized people. I really believe that has a lot to do with it. Because I'm telling you, I've seen some of the stuff that people are playing and watching, even Call of Duty. It's gross. Like, it's gross stuff. And it becomes acceptable and you're desensitized to it. And it's okay. Everything's okay. In this world, everything's okay. Except what's right. And what's just.
And then, everybody's going to yell and scream. Of course, the woke left is going to be yelling and screaming. And what they're going to be yelling and screaming about is the gun control.
Yep.
Gun control, gun control, gun control. But you know what, Peter? I don't buy that at all on many levels. But the number one is that we were kids and we went to school, and everybody, there was the same number of guns.
Absolutely.
Maybe more because they've controlled them so much now, even in these big cities like Chicago and that. And yet I never had one or even heard of one person walking into school with a gun. I can tell you a story. Walking into school with a gun and shooting it up. Not one when we were kids. Did you worry about that?
Never.
Do we have to have armed guards in our schools with the same number of guns? So what's changed?
Psyche. Somehow the psyche, the subconscious mind has changed. Somebody got in there and flipped a switch somehow. And I don't know how they did it, but they did it to adults too. I mean, so you're looking at young kids. I think it's easier to get into their subconscious minds. But look at the adults that have fallen for this stuff that's going on now.
And I'm a Christian, but I'm not a big religious guy. But a lot of this stuff.
I don't like the word religious, anyways. I'm a Christian. I'm trying.
That's right.
I'm trying to get to heaven. I'm not religious. Oh, you're religious? No, I'm a Christian trying to get to heaven.
But since these schools have taken God out of the schools, and I'm not pushing any of this stuff. It's just
you're stating a fact.
It's just,
and it is a fact.
What I've seen, and when we went to school, we said the Lord's Prayer, and we went
God
to a Catholic school, and yeah, we were more like that.
I was doing a talk show, and when they took the Lord's Prayer out of school, was the beginning of the change. It was the beginning of the change. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. The Lord's Prayer was just basically a moral prayer of how you should treat people and how you should treat your Creator, right? It wasn't hurting anybody. It was actually putting some morals in, right? And they took it out, and there was a change. The next change was that teachers weren't allowed to discipline students. Then teachers aren't allowed to fail students. And then you add all the stuff that we have in now, drag queens in kindergarten, which, by the way, I asked Alexa what the purpose of that was this morning. It changed from yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
It's because what they do fits in with the kindergarten curriculum. How?
No.
So you want to know why the world's upside down? What do you need to know in kindergarten? I'll tell you what I knew in kindergarten. Let's get on so I can have that nap.
Yeah. They
Get my
give
carpet.
you,
I'll have the nap.
give you a thing of milk and lay you down, man.
It was great.
Kept you quiet for a couple hours.
Did learn how to actually spell my name, which is a toughie. So I did actually learn how to spell my name in kindergarten.
I still can't do that.
Well, you never got past kindergarten.
No, I'm talking about Peter. Not your last name. But you just look at it and you go, the nonsense that's going on today, and everybody yells and screams about the 10 Commandments and this and that, but really they're just a guide for morals, and they're a guide for the law. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not do this. Thou shalt not steal.
Everybody is born with
right.
That. Okay, you have that intuitiveness, and they're just a fact.
That's your moral fiber. That's what the laws are based on. Things you shouldn't do, right? And so, they're worried about breaking the thing about guns and everything. Well, the guy broke the commandment, thou shalt not murder.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go by that, all these criminals, then what are you going to go by? So, it's just a big mess. And, I just can't even, and it's setting a 14-year-old girl setting a 15-year-old girl on fire. I mean, that's just not normal. That's evil.
Where'd you see that? Where'd you come up with that idea?
I don't know. I just can't even imagine somebody coming up to me in high school in grade, 13 or 14 years old, 15 years old, grade 9, and throwing gasoline on me and lighting me on fire. I mean, whoever heard of this stuff?
Where'd that happen?
Saskatchewan.
Wow.
Whoever heard of this stuff? And ladies and gentlemen out there, this isn't just like a couple stories. This is every day this stuff is happening. I remember I read about another guy who threw his girlfriend left him. She was she won something in the Olympics, I think, from Africa or something.
Yeah.
And he set her on fire and burned her alive.
Yeah. I just
how mental are these people?
We are responsible for a lot of the stuff that's going on because we've turned our heads to a lot of things that are not okay, and we know they're not okay. But it's like you can't say that because you're racist. You can't say that because you're misogynist. You can't think that because I don't want you to think that. So we all just sit here and cower and are afraid to open our mouths. I'm not afraid to open my mouth. If I don't think something is just and right, I have the right and freedom, gift from God, to speak what I believe. And I always try to stay on the side of truth and justice and morality. And I don't think that's a real difficult thing to get, no matter whether you have religion or whether you don't. You're innately born with all of these. Why does somebody who breaks into a bank run? Or shoot something? Why do they run? Because they know it's wrong. They already know it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't be doing it.
You cheat your partner out of money. Why do you take off and go off to an island somewhere? Because you know it's wrong.
Right. Exactly.
But now wrong is becoming right. And it comes from the Bible. It comes from Isaiah, right? When right is wrong and wrong is right, it's the beginning of the end. Let's just go back to George Floyd and the burning of a city and the looting of a city. And now in California, you can steal up to under $1,000 and you don't get charged out of the store.
Yes.
When did that ever become just and right and moral? And people, if everybody in California stood up and said, "Hey, listen, no, it's not going to happen," do you think it would stop? You would think any of the scams that the government's try to pull over our eyes, do you think they would continue if we all stood up and said, "No, we don't agree with that"? It would stop.
You're going to jail.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And when you see the things that are going on, the revolving door of justice, they call it now, and they don't incarcerate people. They let them out. They just let them out back on the street. Like Kamala in the States wants to release all these criminals out of jail, the illegals, and give them citizenship. I mean, this is the kind of thing that's going on right now. And
if you don't have borders, you don't have a country. That's a fact.
And this is the thing, transitioning to that, I'll tell you a story.
Are you transitioning to that?
I'm transitioning to another story.
Oh, okay.
Not to another sex. Not to another gender. Like, these guys can't even answer what a woman is. I mean, it's a wacky world. But I'm going to tell you a story about high school, right? In grade 9, they had show and tell. So, the students brought in stuff that, if their father was a plumber, they might bring in a wrench or, show and tell or whatever,
I like show and tell.
And one guy brought in a shotgun.
Really?
Yeah, like it was empty.
Yeah.
And he was a hunter with his father. He was like 16 years old. But Can you imagine him walking into
Wow.
school today with a shotgun? Nobody thought nothing of it. Stood up in class and said, "My dad and I, we go hunting. And this is a shotgun, and you load it here, and then pumping it up, and nobody, not even our classmates thought anything of it because nobody was afraid of that guy having some shells in his pocket and going to shoot everybody in the class.
Different world, different acceptance,
Yeah,
different justice, different
today.
morals.
Could you? I can't even know. I can't even know. I can tell you stories from high school that will blow your mind.
The SWAT team would be there. They call the SWAT team. They'd be there.
I'm
just doing show and tell.
Well, they got a metal detector. He wouldn't even get in with it. They probably arrest him at the door.
Do they have metal detectors in all schools here now? I haven't been in the school in a long
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
They probably should.
They probably should. I think they do. I would say they do. There's metal detectors there. But I mean, do they have security at schools? I don't know.
Is anybody safe in this city? In any building?
Does anybody really know? I'm going to put the light on here, Peter.
Yeah, all of a sudden it got dark.
Yeah, it's getting dark outside. It's the end of the world.
I mean, did they find bombs in being built?
Here?
Yes.
It's a buzzing. Sorry, got to turn the lights off.
Yeah.
They're buzzing us. Hopefully you can see. We don't have a lot of light. I should have a light halo here just in case, right? But you can see us better than when we were facing the other way that one time.
Oh, exactly.
But I'm thinking about that, and then I'm looking at. I read a story in the review about a bomb, it wasn't a bomb. There was bomb making equipment there, and they were making bombs. They hadn't completed it yet in that Beaver Dams Road area there, Beaverton, that little subdivision off Beaver Dams Road by Kayla Road. If you're from out of town, it's in the west end of Niagara Falls.
It's got you choked up.
Yeah, it does. And so somebody called the cops and said they're making bombs there now. Who that person was and how they knew, I have no idea. How would you know somebody's making a bomb in their house?
You would.
So it had to be somebody from inside the house that saw what was going on. Maybe a parent, and it was their kid. I don't know. I heard the house was a rental, but right away you go like, okay, who in society likes to make bombs and crap?
Terrorists?
I would say either terrorists
or copycats.
Or bikers.
Or copycats.
Copycats or bikers.
Yeah.
Bikers love these. But there's no motorcycles around there, so I eliminate my friends at 81. I mean, they're all right.
Now, what part of town was this? What, that was out in the...
where you go down Beaver Dams Road?
Southwest end town, yeah.
Yeah,
off of Lundy's Lane.
Northwest, yeah.
Northwest.
Yeah, the Northwest. The corner of Beaver Dams Road and Kayla Road. There's that subdivision where Marcel used to live in there.
Gotcha.
Marcel Dion used to live in that. Yeah, that's where it was. And a house, and they got in there, went in there, and there's a bunch of IEDs that were being made, but they hadn't been finished yet.
Well, they did say that they were going to add and infiltrate and have more terrorist acts all over the world, especially in countries like ours. And we know that this country has let a lot of people in just walking across the Quebec border. We also know that Biden sent a bunch of the people that came across the border into our country as well.
Yeah. And, if you say that, of course, as soon as somebody said that on Facebook about this thing, because Niagara 411 posted it, guess what the first thing that came out of somebody's mouth is?
Can't imagine.
You're a racist. I didn't say it. They were saying it to me. You're a racist because they said it's probably one of the immigrants, right? And I don't know. I'm not saying it was. I don't know who it was. But you know what? I don't hear of a lot of people making bombs. I mean, you hear guns and you hear knives and everything else, but not too many people would start playing and making bombs.
And even have the wherewithal or be able to get those materials.
Yeah.
This isn't somebody decided, hey, I want to make bombs. Because if you buy too much nitrate fertilizer, they're on you.
They're on you. Yeah. If you buy too much gunpowder, they're on you. Like, it's not just like...
If you're buying too many bullets at the store, they're on you.
Yeah, like, so, it's like somebody's doing this.
No names released, of course.
No, that's another clue right there. When you don't see names released, it's usually because they don't want a backlash against a certain part of the population. Yeah.
And I know that. Well, I know that from news. I know that at Classic 1220, when I was there doing the afternoon show and we had regular newscasts, our news guys would read the whole story with the names. And I can tell you, we were the only on-air station in Niagara that did that.
They gave their names.
Yeah, they did.
And I usually have to search around for the names, like when you see about human trafficking and a lot of different things. I search around and I finally find them because the review won't put the names, but there are places that will, and I find them, and it's the same people all the time.
And what's the purpose of releasing the names? You know what the purpose of that is? It's not to condemn a race. It's not about culture. It's about letting you, the public, know. You may know this person. You may have some information on this person. Somebody may know something about that name when they hear it and go, "Oh, yeah, I saw him down the street. He was walking down the street with a pile of wires." The reason you give names and identification is so that you can help in the investigation.
And it doesn't go one way.
No.
I mean, you may know the person and say, "Well, no, I know that guy. He's got a good job." It's not him for sure. And so it works the other way too, right? But everybody just wants to get on the racist. As soon as you say anything, like you said at the beginning of the show, racist, homophobic, monophobic, transphobic.
Give me a name, but you know what? Those names don't stick with me. They just fall off.
Yeah.
I'm immune to all the new words, buzzwords, what you want to call me. And Trump's immune to that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Trudeau's immune to it as well.
Yeah, he's oh my goodness.
Anything bad, he's immune to.
But it's funny that they call you that right away. But I just say, well, watch the news like everybody else and see who's shooting people in Hamilton.
Yeah.
See who's doing the shooting, see who's doing the murdering, see who's doing the killing, and then just draw your own conclusions from it. It's not racism. You're dealing with fact. This is the way it is. This is the people who are doing it.
And if it happens to be people that are here that aren't legally here, then we've got a problem. And it's a problem that our government and our police force has to correct. That's why we have you. That's why we vote for you. That's why we pay you huge amounts of money.
Right. And at the end of the day, I mean, everybody in that neighborhood is freaked out. And, they asked a couple of people, well, can you tell us anything about the people that live there? And no comment. They wanted to comment anonymously. They were afraid. What does that tell you? Who were you afraid of?
Then you knew these people weren't the nicest in the neighborhood, maybe, or it's always about fear. I mean, the reason the scamdemic went through is because of fear. Fear is the most powerful form of control there is. And every single government or organization, criminal or just, understands that very well.
Yeah. And so when they're sitting there going, I'm not giving any comment, or I'll comment but anonymously, I don't want my name used because I'm afraid, there's usually something going on there. Now, I heard it was renters. I don't know that for a fact. So don't quote me on that. But either way, it doesn't matter if they're renting or not. Whoever was in there and they're making bombs. Now, let's just hope they get up there. I don't even know if they arrested anybody over it.
The last one I read it said they made no arrests, had no names. The other scary part of this is maybe they're making bombs for somebody else.
Well, yeah, they could be wholesalers.
Wholesaling
bombs.
Yeah.
But either way, it's not good, right? And
we need to know what they're up to. What were they going to do with these bombs? We need to know.
You got to catch these guys. Yeah. Because where were they headed with this? Was this for something big in Niagara Falls? Maybe down the park or something in the middle when it's a long weekend, or like it's really crazy. Like they uncovered a plot of this one guy who was going to shoot Trump, and he was following him around. And he was, I think he may have even been in Butler on that day that he did get shot. And they caught this guy, the FBI, and they got him in custody right now. But yeah, and even this 14-year-old kid, didn't they? What the heck did they know about this 14-year-old kid? I think the FBI had been told about this kid or something.
Really?
Yeah,
that in itself is weird.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going on that that's really bad. Like these government agencies, all the 3-letter agencies, they have to be cleaned up. They're dirty, so dirty,
and they're part of a propaganda unit. That's what they are. 3 letters are part of the propaganda unit.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
So, but anyway, this is a wacky world we live in, and it drives me nuts.
It could stop. We could all stop that. We can stand up and say stop. We can open our mouths and say stop. We can open our mouths and say we don't agree with things.
Right.
You and I aren't afraid to say that.
No, I do it every day.
And we're not afraid to be challenged on what we say. And that's another thing is people, I can't wait till we do the 3-hour show.
Yeah.
And we have phone lines and you can call in and say what you want to say.
Yeah, we won't tape that one. We won't video that one.
Yeah.
It'll be all on 4680Q. We'll put it on.
And
in
you'll
the
be
podcast.
anonymous. Don't have to say your name, and you can say what you think.
That's right. Tell us what you think. It's going to be. We're going to plan that. We're planning a 3-hour show just to take calls from noon till 3 o'clock.
And what's the other great show? It was actually your idea. I started talking about Alexa, and then you said, well, let's do a show where we ask Alexa questions. And I think that's great.
Yeah, that's what we want. We were talking about yesterday. We want to do a show where we put the phone here, or the Alexa unit, whatever it is, and we ask Alexa questions. Because Alexa is run by the left wing, because they asked it about why should we vote for Trump, and it never said anything.
It basically said we can't make comments.
Yeah, we can't make comments on
parties.
Yeah,
and elections.
And then what did it do? Then what did they do, Peter?
Well, it was a glitch. No, it was just a glitch. Yeah. I love it. And if any of you buy that glitch crap, you're out of your mind, or the AI just runs things and does it by itself. It basically gave a whole beautiful thing about Kamala, how great she is, the things she's done in her political career, how she's going to take care of women, blacks, and it went on. And there was 5 or 6 that I've heard right now, different ones, not just the one answer. There was 5 or 6 different ones that I've heard myself. I hear there's more. That was programmed in, that was put in, that was not a glitch. Not by any chance, anyhow, no way, so don't buy it.
Yeah, so
it was cheating.
So I want to do a whole show with Peter, just sitting here with Alexa and asking it questions and see what kind of answers we get. And it'll be questions that are left-wing and right-wing type of thing,
yeah.
Like about abortion and about the contentious issue in the elections in the United States right now, and see how Alexa, if Alexa leans a little bit to the left, or if Alexa leans a little bit to the right, or if Alexa, being an information service rather than a political service or a advertisement for any
propaganda
party or propaganda, stays right in the middle, saying like it's a very contentious issue and there are points to be made for each, like being really in the middle and fair.
I'm going to be shutting my Alexa off because you and I were talking, and I was way away from and it's not like I was talking loud. I started talking about this stuff yesterday. Who started answering? Alexa, who's like 2 rooms away. I'm going, how did she stand? Did she move and stand behind me? Like, it was great.
How do you know it's a she?
Well, you're right. I mean, I shouldn't judge by the voice.
That's right.
We should ask. We'll ask her that.
We'll ask her, Alexa, are you a man or a woman?
No,
and when Alexa it says what it is, then we'll ask, what is a woman? That's a great idea.
Alexa does fart.
Oh, yeah?
I've asked that. And
if she passes gas?
She can, well, I shouldn't say she, whatever it is, can definitely rip a few.
Yeah, well, like I asked it if it knew Siri, right? Or if it ever dated Siri.
This is going to be a fun show. It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be good. We're going to come up. But anyway, put that on your schedule. I'll let you know when we're going to do that show. Now,
we have to say a big hello to Dan Smith. He's driving back from Oshawa. Good friend of mine. Got us tuned in. So.
Oh, Dan Smith. I don't know him.
I know. You might. You never know.
Well, I mean, sounds like a made-up name, Dan Smith. That's what I check into the motel with. Hey, what's your name, Mr. or Mrs. Dan Smith?
Oh, they're always trying to arrest him because they think he's somebody else. Right?
Well, there's a lot of Smiths.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, there's a lot of Smiths. Yeah, Smiths. Oh, I got to get to my second sponsor, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. Now, if you've ever seen these beautiful lights on houses, you drive through a neighborhood and the house is all lit up and you go, wow, that guy spent a lot of time putting those lights up. Well, let me let you in on a secret. He didn't. What he did was he picked up the phone and called Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. And Colin Buckborough from Hamilton Glowstone Lighting came down. He installed track lighting, permanent outdoor track lighting on the gentleman's house. And that's what you're seeing all lit up. And if you go by in the daytime, you go, where'd those lights go? I don't even see them. No, because they're track lighting that match the decor of your house. Now, you can adjust it to millions of colors right on your phone. And they build them in zones so that one zone can be red, one zone can be green for Christmas, all orange for Halloween. Whatever color combination you want, St. Patrick's Day, Canada Day, you can do it because they're built in zones. They have a lifetime warranty on them. When they put the different zones together, they solder them and seal them. So they're impervious to dust and they're impervious to moisture, right? And they add value to your house. They light up your pathways, your driveway, so it's safe, add safety to your house. And they use, what kind of lights, Peter? You love
LED?
this. That's right.
Yes, and it doesn't take any power.
That's
Yeah.
Peter's favorite thing about these is it doesn't cost anything.
It does. It costs nothing.
No, LED lights cost. Now you can leave them on 24/7 if you want to really, really.
We
jazz
found out
it
in
up.
our TV studios because we used to, run the incandescent stuff, and it was just the meter was going like this. Now we're all LED, and it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. But anyway, lifetime warranty. And how do you get these beautiful lights? Well, what you do is you pick up your phone, you dial 289-969-1797. You talk to Colin Buckborough. He's going to come down. He's going to give you a free quote, and then you can proceed. Now, if you really want to jazz up your house, give it the Griswold shot. Guess what? They have available financing on approved credit, and you can pay a low monthly fee to enjoy these beautiful lights. That's Colin Buckborough, Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, 289-969-1797. Or you can go to Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, or not Hamilton Glowstone Lighting, let me correct that, glowstonelighting.com. glowstonelighting.com, just like it sounds. And you can see the beautiful work they do. So give them a call. Tell them Paul from Your City Your Voice sent you. He'll be happy. I'll be happy. Peter will be happy.
I'll be happy.
Your neighbors will be happy when they see your house going, wow, is that ever nice? And, yeah, so.
And you spelled that. You can't even spell Pete.
I know.
Amazing. And
what's those short names?
So the only thing you do at Christmas is hang a couple of wreaths outside. That's it. That's great.
Yeah.
No climbing ladders, no falling off roofs. And I know, listen, I know a couple of my buddies who literally were putting up lights that fell off their roofs. I was almost one of them.
Yeah, and they're hanging onto the eavesdrop and it just breaks. It's not meant to hold a 200-pound guy. Yeah, and they fall on the ground in the bushes. They got thorns up their hoop. It's terrible.
I got to tell you, I've seen the lighting. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It really is. And you can't even see where the light's coming from.
No, and that's it. When you get older, you don't like climbing ladders. You don't like getting up there because one little slip and you're who knows, you could be in the hospital for months with a broken hip or whatever. Yeah, it's better to just get it permanent. It's there. You don't have to monkey around with it in the summer, in the fall, in the winter, whenever, and that's it. So moving on, I got something else for you. I want to get your take on.
Go, let's go.
I love this stuff.
Let's go.
Beer and Corner Stores. September the 5th, Beer and Corner Stores. It's long past due. The beer store and LCBO have overstayed their visits to Ontario with their monopolies. Time to get them out of there. They're loosening laws regarding beer, wine, and liquor. Is the nanny state finally letting go of some things, Peter?
I so find this hard to comprehend because the LCBO and the beer store, other than they're the conglomerates of the beer companies, right, are still part of the government, run by the government, right? So how does the government win? How do they win on this?
Taxes.
That's it. So more beer. The Brewers Retail and the LCBO will always be as popular as they are. These are probably more like, it's an afterthought. It's 9 o'clock. I can pop in and grab a pop at the corner store.
Yeah, and when you get a long weekend, you go to the beer store, there's big lineups and everything. It's just, if I can just go down to the corner store and grab a dozen and go home. I mean, what's wrong with that? I think it's just about time. We're the only province in Canada that still has this antiquated system.
Well, they've been trying to get us to mature, and I think we've gotten to that point. Look, there's pot on every corner. Okay, you can buy cannabis on every corner.
Right?
Really?
Right. It's just one of those things where this is that old thing. I mean, when we were kids, everybody's just yelling about this in corner stores is like a big deal. Listen, when we were kids, you couldn't even drink out in your front yard. You had to go in the backyard and drink. And when you went to a bar and you sat down to have a drink and say you wanted to change tables, you had to call the waiter over to move your drinks.
It was crazy.
And then when they let you drink on Sundays, the restaurants and bars that were open, they had to have 60% sales of food compared to 40% sales of booze. I mean, so we've been behind the 8 ball as far as these antiquated prohibition era suffragette laws that we have, where in the United States you can go into corner stores, you can go into Wilson Farms, you can go everywhere and buy beer. They have privately run liquor stores. They've had them since I can remember, since I was a kid, and we're still catching up. I mean, we used to have to go to the LCBO to get a bottle of hooch, and you go to the counter, hand them a slip with a number, and they'd go in the back and get your bottle and put it in a brown paper bag. They didn't want you walking out of the liquor store unless it was in a brown bag.
You want anybody to think you were drinking while you're sitting there going like this on a street corner somewhere.
Yeah, like,
but now, in the States, in Costco, I mean,
yeah,
you can buy a bottle of booze like this for like $19.
Yeah, like in Costco, I don't know if they're going to get it or not, but they have it in the States. Yeah, and you can get Kirkland brand.
Yeah, well, in Alberta, you can get in Costco.
Yeah,
you can buy liquor.
So Kirkland brand too. Yeah. They have their own brand, which is usually like it's vodka, it's Grey Goose. I mean, whoever's the big supplier, they just put their name on it and sell it for pretty cheap, right? So. Yeah, I think it's time. It's time. I mean, we've reached that point now, and for anybody who thinks that people are going to run in the corner store and start chugging beer outside, and kids are going to be running around with beers, no, it's not going. These guys have been running lottery tickets and cigarettes. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to be a big deal now for a couple of days. Doug Ford went in and bought a 12-pack out of a Circle K or something.
He's such an amazing, wonderful, caring premier. I really like him.
Yeah, and he bought a 12-pack from the guy. I don't know. I think it was something Sing, but regardless, he bought it and he was celebrating it. And you'll see a big thing like when grocery stores got it. Everybody was all high. Oh yeah, we got to get some beer out of the grocery store. But now it's just a normal thing. You go down the aisle. I get this. I get that. Get some chips. Oh, well, I might as well grab a 6-pack. Have a beer tonight when I'm watching Scooby Doo or whatever. Right?
Yeah. They've what they've done is they've just made drinking beautiful. You walk into the LCBO, what's that store look like? It makes you want to buy, right? Everything is amazing and sensual, and everybody's got to have it. Now you have commercials where the girls and the guys are sitting there and they're drinking back straight booze. I mean, they're pushing it. They might as well. Now they've got everybody interested in. They've basically doubled the amount of people that drink liquor because women never used to drink liquor when I was younger. You guys wine. that would have shots. The women would never do that.
No, wine. They usually would get wine or Zima or
never beer
or
right?
Singapore slings.
Yeah. So now you got everybody connected in, and you're going to sell more.
Yeah, well, I used to like having a drinking, but now I don't anymore. If I have a beer every 3 months, I'm lucky.
I've always been the guy. First of all, I never drank and drove. Never. Like. I would say never. I would have a beer and then drive 2 hours later, right? But I just always was afraid to hurt somebody. And I was always the guy, I only ever had 2 hangovers in my life. And both of them were the same guy for his stag. And we were destroyed.
It wasn't George, was it?
It was George. It was actually George Emery.
Oh, George, you're a big thing on the show today, George, if you're listening.
I was face down. It's 5 corners. It's Mill Street with George.
Good guy.
And that, those 2 hangovers said, I'll never do this again. I never have because there's nothing.
No, it's
not worth it.
Hurts too much anymore. That's why I just stay away. But
couple drinks, get a little buzz, have some fun, talk, and away you go.
Get down tonight.
Yeah, get down. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I actually a lot of times people are sitting around a campfire at our trailers, and I'm drinking water. Yeah, and I'm having a good time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't really need it if you have a good time anywhere, right? But I'm glad to see they did that, though. They loosened it up and really they brought us into the 21st century here. I mean, our laws are a little bit antiquated. It's just the woke on the one side who everything. Anything they do, it's going to turn into a nightmare. But it doesn't. If you want to know the truth, there's a part of society, right, that will be addicted to things, whether it's gambling, whether it's
and they'll
drinking,
get it no matter what.
Yeah, whether it's drugs, but that's only 1 or 2%. The rest are pretty. Most people can handle a drink here or there, and without going overboard and starting to drink a bottle a day. But there is that element, and it's the same with gambling, same with sex. There's addictions to everything. People overdo a lot of different things. Eating, is another one, right? So you're going to have that. And by putting it in corner stores, it isn't going to do anything. It's going to just help the little guy on the corner now who has lottery tickets, cigarettes, and now booze. He can sell beer. It'll help his probably bottom line a little bit.
You know what helped me when I was a kid is, of course, European background, Italian to be the same, Ukrainian.
Pierogies.
We were given booze.
Yeah,
when we were kids. I can say that now. Because they can't arrest my parents. Actually, it's the anniversary of my dad's passing today.
Well, that's real European right there.
And so when I turned 18, because it was 18 then, I didn't go crazy. my friends went nuts. They went nuts. Like, oh, I'm drinking like, I had it. It was like, okay.
Yeah, my dad always just let us take a swig out of his beer and everything. He never, and then, I mean, we were 16.
My
We
dad
were
used
over
to
the
make
river.
beer. My dad made the best beer ever.
Oh, he made beer.
He was a chemist, right? And he worked at Simon, but he had this concoction of wines and distilling water, and his beer, I can taste it right now. It was the best beer I ever had in my life.
And he never taught you how to make it.
No.
You should have learned that.
I should have.
That's tradition.
But I was too busy. I was working on a farm doing all kinds of other things. But I'd come down and go, oh man, then I would bottle it with him, right? It was something. It was great.
Yeah, well, that's like Italians making wine. It's the same. They crush the grapes and do everything to make the wine. But anyway, we've made it. Now, did you see the story about the region spending $42 million on buses?
I thought I was seeing things. No, I really did. I thought I was seeing things. This has got to stop. $42 million on electric buses. Is that what it is? Electric buses?
Yeah, EV buses. Yeah.
We don't need them.
No.
They're expensive. They're costly. They're extremely heavy. You understand? I mean, do you know that even in the small electric cars, do you know that those batteries weigh 1,000 pounds and more? 1,000 pounds and more. It wears on the roads. I mean, we don't have any roads left. We're going to put these heavy buses on. We're done.
Well, they're talking about like these trucks that are EVs running down the roads now, and half their payload is batteries.
Exactly. And they don't have the same power, and they're going to pull on the grid, and fossil fuels are going to power it.
Yeah, well, of course. You got to get electricity from somewhere.
We don't need to waste $42 million. Let's let other cities do the analysis. Why do we have to get involved with the analysis?
And that's exactly what John Ringo Beam said. He said,
he's a smart guy.
Yeah, listen, don't spend it. Let other cities spend the money, and we'll get the results of their test. And then if it's viable, we'll do it. If not,
how about the electric bus companies send them out there for testing? You just hand them over, and we'll test them for you. How about that?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Get it free. Yeah. We'll test them. If we like them, we'll buy them.
If not,
well, in the winter too, we get winter right here, and so the winters they don't perform like they do. Their battery life is less than in say California, where it's always hot. So you're going to get 7 years out of the batteries before they get to the point where everybody says 10 years, but the bottom line is look at your phone, look at anything you own. After 3 or 4 years, the battery starts having to be charged more and more and more because it's losing its ability to recharge. And by 7 years, you probably won't even get 20 miles or 30 miles out of a heavy bus.
And if you're really worried about the carbon footprint, I want you to think about the massive battery cells full of toxic chemicals.
Yeah.
Okay. And see that we're always talking about carbon and the carbon footprint and the carbon tax and the carbon in the air and the carbon dioxide. What we don't really talk about is toxins and what they do and what the toxins are in the air, what the toxins are in the water. Those batteries cannot be recycled. Okay?
No,
they can't. It's the same as, we're going to generate power with wind and turbines offshore where we're killing the whales. And those turbines are highly toxic. And they only have, what is it, a 15 to 20 year lifestyle. And they have to be piled up. They can't even be buried, and they can't be recycled. And then if you go to California, where they have, I guess there's a place where they have a 300 car charging station. They have massive, huge diesel electric engines that are creating that electricity.
Yeah, so that doesn't even make sense. It's ridiculous. And you're going to have we're lucky there's only so many people that are buying into this nonsense. The ones who already have, and that's it. They're good for another 10 years. But imagine if we had 100 million people with these cars and their batteries all start running out. What are you going to do with them? It's going to be an ecological nightmare.
You got it. People don't know that. They don't get it. And when you buy a brand new electric car, your warranty is only good as long as I think, what is the warranty on these cars now? 60,000 K, or is it not even that?
I think right now, some are 10 year on the powertrain and that, but most are 36 months or 60 months.
Yeah, and I think the batteries are either that or less. And do you know what it costs to change those batteries?
Yeah, 10, 20, 30 grand, whatever.
40. Yeah, if you got a big truck, 50. And then where is it going? It's going in a pile of toxic waste. When you burn diesel fuel or gasoline, Are you burying anything?
No.
Are you tearing up the roads?
Nope. And they've scrubbed these things. I mean, these engines today are so efficient. They're computer controlled. They're really burning clean. They're not like the old days.
Not even close.
Even the diesels that burn real clean. These cars don't blow out.
1.5% of the world's carbon emissions come from Canada. We are carbon neutral. And as long as we don't take all of our trees down and keep replanting, we'll never have a problem with carbon, which is only 0.02% of the atmosphere.
Yeah, and you know, this experiment, forget about it. We don't need it. And like I said yesterday, we're taking us back to the future, because back in the 1920s in Niagara Falls and big cities, what do we have? Electric buses, electric streetcars.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were cleaner because at least they had the wires going to the electric wires overhead.
Yeah, no batteries.
No batteries and anything else, right? I mean, I'd rather see that, even though those wires are a pain in the neck and the grid is expensive to build. I mean, you could put up a lot of wires for $42 million.
Aren't there some under 10 Eastern folk children that are digging up the stuff for these batteries too? 8, 9, and 10-year-olds over in the East.
Yep. And they're digging lithium and cobalt, nasty, nasty stuff, man. So yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's not it's not what it appears to be. And I know you think you're driving around and you're wonderful. I'll tell you one thing: hybrids, I'm okay with. I'm okay with a hybrid up to a point.
Yeah, you know what? It's a stab at it, and that's where Ford and that are going now, because they're realizing that people don't want electric vehicles. So what they're doing is they're mothballing the ones they have until 2026 or so. They've closed the plant down, and same with Stellantis, same with Volkswagen.
So why do you think the car companies who knew where the money was, why do you think they bent to the EV and the carbon emission stuff?
Because of all the media and everything about climate change. Everything's based on climate change. All this is climate change. We pay for climate change every single minute of every day.
It goes beyond that. Let's think about who owns the big money in this world. There's a couple of companies that own pretty much anything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to get loans and you don't follow what they say and what they want the world to be, and it's an exchange of money, what happens? You don't get the funding you require.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So a lot of it isn't just that some idiot at the top of Ford says, yeah, we're going to make EVs and we think it's a great idea. A lot of times they're under this massive pressure because they owe money and they need money and they need investment. And investment is pretty much controlled now.
It really is. Yeah. There's just a handful of companies that own almost everything, all the media,
BlackRock.
And you figure, like, we pay carbon tax on everything, all this baloney for this climate change. And, it even comes down to municipal level, where when they're looking at replacing sewers, and that they're making the pipes bigger than they would normally, to take into account climate change and the rain we're going to get in the future. Like, you can't tell the weather tomorrow, but they can tell us what's going to happen by 2050. So take that with a grain of salt. You're paying for all that baloney they're throwing at you.
All your big leaders in the United States of America were telling you about climate change and the sea levels rising. All bought property. Guess where?
Yeah, right on the sea. Obama's the biggest one. Climate change. He bought a thing in Martha's Vineyard right on the ocean.
And he's got a place in Hawaii.
Yeah. So they're all full of baloney. It's just picking your pocket. That's all. And they're striking fear like the world's going to end. Believe me,
Where's Greta when we need her?
Thank God
she knows. She could tell us.
She? How do you know she's a she?
Oh, I don't. There I go again.
Here you go again.
Incorrect right here on the radio.
Yeah, like I don't even know if that's a little boy. I think
it's a droid.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg.
So the last thing I want to talk about today is
for a Friday, finally Friday.
Is Jimmy Dollywall.
Oh no,
Jimmy Dollywall ripping up the agreement he had with Trudeau, saying that's it. I've had it with these guys. He can't beat Paul Revere because he doesn't know what he's doing and all that, but he ripped it all up. But here's what the kicker is here. He's not going to do anything, Peter, because on February 20th, his full pension from being MP and leader of the NDP kicks in. And we're talking millions of dollars over his lifetime. So he's not going to pull any stunts. What do you think?
I think the guy's despicable.
Yes.
I really do. I think he's absolutely despicable. I really believe that this is a three-party system, and it should be against the law for two parties to join and sign a document that makes them one. You are an NDPer, you voted NDP, you're a liberal, you voted liberal, you're concerned. There is no way they should be able to create a liberal NDP government and sign a document. That's not what you voted for.
No, it isn't.
It's wrong. And this guy definitely wants his pension. He is an absolute liar. I'll tell you what I'm so sick of. I'm sick of politicians in the House, when they're being interviewed, never answering a question. Did you believe in what Trudeau's doing? Well, what I believe in is about the dental plans and how it's going to help the seniors and not getting rid of healthcare that's public, and that's what I believe. Yeah, but do you believe what Justin Trudeau's doing right now, and that it was a good thing? Well, no. What I think is that we're helping the seniors with their dental. It's the same rhetoric crap. It's so irritating. Answer the question. Do you believe Justin Trudeau is going in the right direction? The answer is no. I don't. Do you know why? Oh, for the many, many reasons. First of all, carbon tax is a fraud. Nobody's got the guts to say that, though.
No, nobody will say that.
Nobody's got the guts to say that. So he's a liar. What's he got now? How many seats does he have?
No, I don't know.
Is it 20?
A minority.
Yeah.
Oh, the NDP?
Yeah.
Oh, he's only got like 20 seats or so. Yeah, he
20, 26.
Enough to swing the power in this coalition.
Can you imagine that right now he's being predicted 8 to 9 seats?
Yeah, he's going to lose seats.
And this guy's going, and I'm going for prime minister because, it's a great thing.
Yeah,
dental for seniors, and when Polyev gets in there, he's going to cut seniors' pensions. You can't cut seniors' pensions anymore. There's nothing to them. Okay, you can't cut them. You cut them, they don't exist. And that's why the $42 million should go back into helping the seniors, people on the streets. You know what you could do with $42 million? You know how many people you could help?
Yeah. And
then we're going to create a bus system with EVs, which is going to cost us a fortune repair. And they're not even fully used. This buses run at a deficit.
Always.
And now we're going to invest $42 million to test.
They're nuts.
Yeah, they are. They're out of their minds.
They're nuts.
It's coming out of our pockets.
We keep saying it. They have a spending problem. We don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And same with our federal government. They have the same problem.
They've been doing that for 9 years.
Yeah.
And you know what? The problem is you go, oh, thank you. I'm getting this. I'm getting this. I'm getting this. At what cost? Because at the end of I'm getting this and I'm getting this, and you got no more money left. You've got nothing, and you have no assets. You have nothing, and you're happy. But you're happy. You're happy, right?
You will have nothing.
You're happy and you know it.
And be happy.
Clap your hands.
You'll have nothing and be happy.
Yes.
Didn't Klaus Schwab say that?
He's a genius. And his buddy Harari. There's no more use for human beings. We need to combine them with machines. Create a new. God is dead. We are the new gods.
Yes.
I wouldn't be saying that too loud.
But old Jimmy Dollywall, though, see, if he called an election now, if he brought down the Liberal government and called an election, he may not even win his riding. If he don't win his riding, he don't get the February 20th. He don't get the February 20th. He doesn't get that full pension.
He says he will. Who's the woman on CTV? What's her name? Blonde haired.
CKTV?
No, CTV. Who did the interview with him? Just a couple of days ago.
Lisa Laflemme?
No. I can't. It's a different type of name. She comes off as hard hitting. The problem is when they go off and go blabbering off about what they believe and not answering the question, you got to bring them back. And you got to bring them back till you embarrass them to the point where you're saying, obviously, you don't want to answer the question. But that doesn't happen. You're asking, and but that's not really answering the question. And let them go off and tell you about dental plans and seniors again. The guy's a liar. He's a cheat. He created what I consider an illegal coalition. And he's trying to tell, the dental plan hasn't even been passed yet?
No.
Trudeau could turn that down.
Yeah.
But what I really believe is Shaw Festival needs to get these characters because it's all a play. This whole thing is a play. He's not going to take down the government. And if he does, I hope I'm wrong. I actually hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too, but he won't. He won't. And he's been backing them for 9 years. So all of a sudden he's just going to, no, he's not going to. And the thing that set him off was that, and he got himself in a corner because
he opened his mouth by mistake.
Yeah, he said that if Trudeau puts these guys back to work on the CNN, on the trains, CN, not CNN,
CP,
CP and CN, right? That he's for the worker, right? They're socialists, they're union guys. He said that if he does that, he's going to back out of the coalition. And Trudeau, he thought that would make Trudeau not do it. And Trudeau sent him back to work anyway. And when that happened, well, you know what? There's Harold. So when that happened, that's when Jagmeet said, I am not going to back this. I'm tearing.
But not immediately. Not immediately.
It took a week.
Yeah.
It took a week
somebody said, hey, buddy, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. I mean, he said that was what he was going to do. Now he's got to keep his word. He painted himself into a corner, the dummy. So he did, but it means nothing, though. Don't get all excited, everybody. They're not bringing down any government. He's not going to do anything like that. It's all just you said it the other day. It's all just a play, and they're acting all this out. They sat between each other and said, well, let's do this.
Yeah, and make it look like we hate each other. Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, good cop, bad cop, and it'll save me from losing face saying that I was going to get rid of it, and I'm not going to bring you down anyway, because remember, February 20th is...
And if you vote Polyev, they're going to take everything away and you'll have nothing.
That's what they're saying.
And be happy. Well, you won't be happy. See, if you have nothing with them, you're happy. If you have nothing with Polyev, you won't be happy.
Nothing from nothing is nothing.
Yeah. It's like the nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing. We're going to get nothing. We'll have nothing. And we'll be happy.
And we'll be so happy.
Then you wonder why I'm so happy about them allowing booze in corner stores.
That's why.
You know what? You might need it. You might need it.
My wife's a nurse. She can hook you up with an IV. Which I think I'm going to have her do.
Oh, that's funny. Anyway, Peter, we got to get out of here.
All right.
An hour's up already. I can't believe it. And I got 3 pages that we never even got to. But that's all right. We discussed some important stuff here and things going on in the world.
Ben Guyatt.
Yes.
From Comedy Club 54.
Yes, what happened to Ben?
Ben couldn't do it today, but Ben is going to do it.
Oh, that'd
Ben's
be
going to come on the show with us, and Ben's a character. It'll be fun. And Ben thinks like us.
Oh, he's going to be, and he's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
So he's probably got some good lines.
Yeah, he actually, he was on CHML for 8 years, right? Doing a talk show. I was on his show a couple of times, and he got on the edge there, and then they had to get rid of him.
That's the kind of guy we like on the show.
Exactly.
He'll tell it like it is, and he's funny. He's a comedian. He runs Club 54 up in Burlington, right?
Yeah.
And he's been running for a lot of years.
He writes scripts.
Well-known comedian.
He's got a script in Hollywood right now, and he used to produce a lot of the shows at CHCH TV. He produced a lot of those shows and put them together. So he's a really smart guy, funny guy, and we're going to have him on the show.
Yeah, we'll have him on the show. Anyway, my name is Paul Killamere. This is Your City, Your Voice. We're checking out on a Finally Friday. Have a good weekend. It's supposed to rain for 2 days, but you sit inside. You can go to the corner store and get some brewskis. Watch reruns of Happy Days. What do I care what you do? Have a good weekend, though, whatever you do. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. If you're going to do that, don't drink and drive. We got to say that.
Yeah, do not. I'm all about that.
Yeah, we don't want that to happen. But, we'll see what happens this weekend. If it's so bad, I hope it's nicer, though. We want nice weekends now because we're headed to the...
Depends on Billy Gates, what he decides,
Yeah. You never know. Anyway, this is Peter Dychtiar. We thank him for coming in the studio.
My pleasure.
4680Q Radio. Don't forget to support our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop and Hamilton Glowstone Lighting. We will see you Monday with Manic Monday. And Tuesday, we are going to be here with Dave Wheeler doing the City Council Agenda Review. And that means I have my work cut out for me this weekend. Go to NiagaraFalls.ca to check out the agenda for yourself. Tune in on Tuesday, and you'll see what we're going to be talking about with City Council. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you later. Ciao, ciao for now.
God bless.